Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting. And at the given point of time, also as a second year law student. As we speak, I am pursuing my LLB, which is Bachelor's in Law, and whereby I am keenly focusing on EOW. By EOW, I mean Economic Offenses Wing. My background is treasury, banking, financial market, and you know that I shot more than 40,000 videos in the public domain. And majority of the time, I speak about financial market, hedge accounting, and each and such things. Barely I speak about political organizations and all. Barely. Today also, I would be speaking about a topic which is very close to me, a topic which is holding a substantial interest not only in the today's time, but also the time to come. A topic whereby people are holding very less information, a topic, even if you search Google, you barely find any information on Google. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would be covering a topic which is technically known as who represents a fund. In the context of India or any developing nation, there are two kinds of funds which are operating. Number one is the global funds. They are promulgated by foreign institutional investors, accredited investors, foreign portfolio investors, and many a times alternate investment funds. In the countries like India, alternate investment fund, shortly known as AIF, are designed in such a way that the regulatory compliance of AIF is approximately zero, which means that 99.99% of times you will never get to know who is the actual owner of the AIF, who is the actual beneficiary. In legal parlance, this is known as last natural person. Who is the last natural person of an alternate investment fund in India? You will never get to know. In fact, in the country like India, there is a serious conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest is that few mutual funds who are technically known as CIS, which is called collective investment schemes, these mutual funds are also holding their AIF, which means one side you are acting as a collective investment scheme, which means different people are giving you money, which you investing in the market, whether it's a debt, hybrid, or equity, or thematic. And whatever return you are generating, you are returning back to that relevant investors. And at the given point of time, the same AMC, which is known as Asset Management Company, is also holding the AIF structure, which is closed one. So how can that possible that at one point of time, one asset management company can have a CIS structure, which is known as collective investment scheme, and at a given point of time, the same AMC is also holding AIF structure. Nonetheless, it is very hard to say that the funds are incorporated in one jurisdiction. In the countries, especially Mauritius, Caribbean island, British Virgin Island, Delaware, London, Luxembourg, Singapore, Dubai, Frankfurt. There are n number of funds are registered. N number of funds. On paper, we are having a concept called MLAT worldwide, which is called Mutual Legal Assistant Treaties. Mutual Legal Assistant Treaties. We also have a concept called LR, which is Letter Rogatory. Now, letter rogatory means that when one investigating agency of X country, they citing some information in the Y country, to get this information, they are issuing letter rogatory with the proper authorization of the local court. But having said that, do you understand that according to many public figures, the total money which is laundered every year is more than trillions. More than trillions. We can't trust on anyone's data. And the reason behind is that a fund who is designed or who is registered at one jurisdiction is actually a face of that fund. And that fund is holding many more branches or many more funds who are acting either a shell or a shelf. Officially speaking, every fund is having a person called SMO, which is called Senior Management Official. The local regulator of that country is aware about the name of SMO, Senior Management Official. But the very interesting thing which we need to look at, the interesting thing which we need to introspect, especially after Hindenburg report, especially after many reports which are there in the public domain, is that whether the fund who is saying XYZ is the SMO, whether that person is actually managing the show or somebody else on the name of that person is managing the show. There are various ways we can check that. There are various technical ways we can handle that. But the point is, do we really understand the gravity of the situation? The funds are designed to do stock manipulations. The only reason of designing these funds is to do the stock manipulations. If I speak in a very technical parlance, then these funds are designed to create multiple beneficial owner IDs, which are shortly known as BOID. Now, how it works? You go to whatever country, India, Singapore, US, or any country, these countries always have one entity which is called depositories. Like in the country like India, you have NSDL and CDSL. They are the two depositories we are having. Technically speaking, CDSL is listed, henceforth it comes under LODR guidelines, listing obligation and disclosure requirement, while according to the public information, NSDL is planning to list, so soon they would be listed, but I can't comment that. Now, these depositories, any country have a registered participants who are known as DP, shortly known as depository participants. Now, these depository participants are actually doing the trading in the market. So whenever you take a position in the stock market, whether you take a very small position or you take a very big position, you take the position with DPs, which is called depository participants. However, the actual DP, the actual depository account is maintained with that relevant depository, either NSDL or CDSL. At the end of the day, your registered email, your registered mobile number will get a relevant message. And that message will tell you that what you sold and what you bought. Many people track this message. Many people do not track this message because they do not have any understanding of that. If I wish to know that whether the fund is having multiple branches or not, the very interesting thing is Depositories Act 1996 in the Indian context. Depository Act 1996 is having a very important thing which is called Section 4. And Section 4 deals with the agreement between depository and depository participant. Depository Act 1996 is very much complete act. It speaks about the beneficial owners. It speaks about that the last natural person that's supposed to be identified by both depositories and depository participants. Ladies and gentlemen, we really need to understand that there is a concept called freak trades. Freak trades, F-R-E-A-K. F-R-E-A-K. The meaning of freak trade means that all of a sudden the market moves. So example, today at any given expiry, the option price is 2 rupees and all of a sudden it went to 200. All of a sudden it went to 50. You know why it happens? It happens because of a block trade. It happened because of a huge investment by institutional investors. All of a sudden. We really need to understand one thing very clearly, and apparently is that the SMO, which is declared by the fund, shortly known as Senior Management Official, the very first thing which we need to understand whether this Senior Management Official is actually the face or he is nothing but a rubber stamp. And that is possible. That is possible once we track the trading records from the depositories, depository participant, custodians, and last but not the least, the annual reporting of that FII. Because all investors supposed to have an annual report. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand one thing very clearly as far as the PMLA Act 2000, PMLA Rules 2005 is concerned, is that it is not difficult to have an actual beneficial owner in place. It is not difficult. The only thing is that you need to understand that you need to know how exactly fund management works. Because one thing which you need to understand is that no fund can perform without these three people. Number one, the depositories, depository participants, and custodians. These three people are paramount for the operation of any fund. And if we able to track the dealing record of that fund with these three people, we would easily be able to track the ultimate beneficial owner of that person, which is also known as UBO. I know that many people believe that money laundering is a very tough topic. Many people believe that it is almost impossible to have ultimate beneficiary owners in place. Many people believe that tracking the trading record of an entity is next to impossible, but I don't feel so, because we need to understand that there are many entities whereby these records are maintainable. And that is a very important thing which as a fund manager we need to understand. Henceforth, one thing to me is very clear, and I take these things the way is that if I have the name of the SMO, senior management official of any fund, I'm not going to disregarding this. But yes, I'm not going to be regarding this at a face value, because this is just an information for me. But I always authenticate this information based upon the knowledge I acquired. And I strongly believe that even if we are having the complete details of SMO, it is our duty to authenticate this. That's what I wish to highlight in this video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You have my number 9899242978.